Okay, so we have two presentations left. The first one is about XDK2MAM, which is a project in which Alejandro and I are working. We co-founded this project. And the second one is about flash channels. It's going to be done by Nicolas Steinraver. Ich denke. So we don't have much time, so we will do it fast. We created XDK2MAM to allow people with XDK110. This is an XDK110. It's a Bosch sensor to upload data to the tangle. To provide open source code to easily publish to the tangle. So today what we will be doing is we will publish data to the data marketplace, the Iota data marketplace. We will do a step-by-step process from the scratch. I mean, from downloading the code from GitHub, publishing and offering the data on the data marketplace, and eventually if someone is interested in our data, he might sell it, buy it, I think. First of all, shortly, please, let's see what is this XDK2MAM. XDK refers to the XDK110 of Bosch, which is this little sensors node we show. This little sensors node has gyroscope, accelerometer, magnometer. It has a light sensor, an acoustic sensor. It has temperature, humidity, pressure, and it also has Wi-Fi and Bluetooth, plus SD slot, micro SD slot card. So this is a very useful tool to prototype IoT. This was being used by Bosch internally, and they decided to market this as a valuable piece of hardware. And on the other side of the two, we have like this. The two is clip. It's a connector. It's from this to that. We have MAM, which is a second layer protocol or method to send messages using the tangle. Okay. Before MAM, you could send messages using the tangle, but you have to use a standard transaction. You could add a message in a tag attribute. The idea behind MAM, which is mask authenticated messaging, is to provide a protocol to make this easier, and also to provide different methods to protect the data. Because if you're sending data on the tangle, that data is public. Everyone can see the data. But MAM is going to allow you to go on public mode, but you will also have other modes, such as private and restricted, which will only the guys having the hash, for instance, of the root will be able to see the channel with the messages. Okay, so we have XDK110, Bosch connectivity XDK110 on one side, and we have this second layer messaging solution over the tangle on the other side. What we will be doing today is we will be using the XDK110, and we will publish data to the Iota data marketplace. Okay. So I think that we might start if you want. Yes. So XDK2MAM is all about open source solutions. We like to think about this project as we like to think that we enable others to create proof of concepts. We provide code, open source code. Our code is always, it has two parts. You have the C code, which is what you flash to the XDK110, and on the other side you have the Node.js code, which is what you use to handle the data from the sensors and to publish that data on the tangle, okay, through MAM in this case. So what we want to do is we want to briefly showcase how do you, let's assume that you get one of these XDKs 110 and you want to publish data in the Iota data market. Let's do that. So do you want me to talk about the SD? No. No. Basically, you gotta go to our GitHub repo, which is this one, and you can download there the code. I don't know if you, Alejandro, already have it or. Well, the other tab shows our website, which is awesome, by the way, and it is also a template, but never mind. Okay. So XDK2MAM.io, we will be doing DMP, which stands for Data Marketplace. We don't have DMP here. When you get the XDK 110, you get this IDE, which is based on Eclipse. It is basically it is an Eclipse-based IDE with libraries to work with the XDK 110. Okay, the name is XDK Workbench. So this is the place in which you write the C code, and then you compile and flash the code to the device. So now we should import the project, or you already did that? Okay, so we already did that. So maybe we should show how that is done. Assuming that you start the XDK Workbench for the first time, you gotta go to File, Import. You gotta choose, okay, you gotta choose projects from, okay, to create. Basically here you will browse the folder you downloaded from XDK2MAM GitHub, and you gotta load the one that says C, okay, because this is all about the XDK 110. There is another folder with the Node.js code, but now we are trying to compile and flash the code for the XDK 110. So once you have that, you just compile, clear, compile, and then you flash that to the device. I'm trying to do this very fast, I think. Okay, so once the build is finished, you gotta build the project. This is gonna take maybe some minutes. Okay, so maybe I can briefly talk about the SD solution, because when you use the XDK 110, you have to add to the software the Wi-Fi data, the SSID, password. You gotta define a set of constants that we use to hard code on the code. We created this using the microslot SD, which is basically a config file. Prior to this, if you took the XDK 110 from one network to another one, you had to change the Wi-Fi SSID, the password, probably the IP if you were using your own computer as server, and you gotta recompile the whole thing and then reflash it. So that was not very portable, and we came out with this solution. We came up with, let's use the micro SD card. Let's put the values there, and if I gotta take the sensor from one place to another, and the Wi-Fi data changes, or the IP the network gives me changes, I can change that from the config file. No need to open the XDK Workbench. As you can see, you can also change values such as the port, the interval in which the XDK 110 is going to send data. Okay, now we have it in 3,000 milliseconds. Yeah. It will be 30 seconds. And then you can define which sensors you want to use, because the device has a lot of sensors, but you might want to use only, I don't know, let's say you want to have a weather station, then you only want to have the weather sensors. So you don't want to use the light sensor or the magnetometer, all of that. Okay, so that is the config file we will be using, and that needs to go into the SD, the micro SD slot of the XDK110.
Sorry.
Yep. Maybe you can use the mic. I think it's off.
How much does it sounds? Yeah. How much does XDK110 cost?
Well,
it's the first time I heard about it.
That was quick. They are about something about $180. They are not cheap at all. Huh? They are not cheap at all. But considering what you get, I mean, if you try to, I think I wrote something about this. If you try to clone the XDK using, for instance, an Arduino with a shield with Wi-Fi and all the sensors and stuff, yeah, you might get a cheaper clone, but it doesn't. It's gonna be much bigger. It's not gonna be that stable. Yeah, it is not cheap, but it is also pretty much new on the market, you know, because they used to use it internally, and they started selling this, I think, like 1 year and a half, 2 years tops. Yeah, 2 years? I'm not sure. But I think that eventually, as IoT prototyping goes wider, it might get cheaper. Okay, so Alejandro. Okay. So when you download our code, you get all the C code that we saw we clean, built, and flushed to the XDK110. So the XDK110 is now with the code ready, and the XDK110 already knows where to send the sensor's data because we told via the config file that. Can you show me the config file just a bit? Do you have it? Ah, there. Okay, it doesn't matter. This is just the GitHub version, but this value, it is saying to the XDK110, send the sensor's data to that IP, which is Alejandro's computer. So now we need Alejandro's computer to run a server listening for this data. And to do that, we will be using a Node.js server. Yeah, we are using Express, yes. Not in this case, anyway, no. So yeah, the code you get when you download the dmp.js from XDK2MAM is ready to go. You only need to change 2 values on the code. You gotta change the device ID, because every time you create a new device on the data marketplace, keep in mind that we are sending data to the data marketplace, you can enter a name. So in this case, our device ID would be XDK2MAM espacio Bitcoin. And then you get a secret key, which is unique for every device. The secret key, you will get it from the dashboard of the Iota data marketplace. So I am assuming that this data has been already changed. Okay? Yeah, Alejandro, is this okay? So once you change those values, all you gotta do to start listening to the XDK, I mean, first of all, obviously you gotta turn the XDK on, and then you gotta run the node dmp.js. Let's do it, if you think so. This is going to, what? Yeah, that is the device. I think I showed it, but let's show it again. This is the device. Maybe if you wanna, well, we are posting only weather data or light. No, okay. No, you can. Yeah, LoRa is being added right now. I think that yesterday Bosch announced that the new XDK workbench is We didn't have time to check it out, but has support for LoRa. You have Bluetooth, Bluetooth low energy. You have and you have Wi-Fi. Those are the connectivity methods. Then you gotta use HTTP, Mosquito, Bluetooth, UDP. Those are the protocols you can use too. Okay, so basically, the console is going. What is happening now? The XDK110 is. Do you have the XDK110? Okay, it doesn't matter. That little device with the 8 sensors. Now we are only using 3. Is sending this data. Okay, and it is sending the data to Alejandro's computer. But we could be using a BPS or a server anywhere. So you just gotta change the IP. Yeah, you can take it. So. These are the lectures, and if you see here, it says attached message, success true. That means that data set, better said, is already on the Tangle, and in this case, it is already at the data marketplace. Now, keep in mind that Iota's data marketplace is a proof of concept. Okay, so we are not using really Iotas, but the idea was to allow people to offer data on one side and on the other side to other people to buy that data if they consider the data is important. So this is what the data marketplace looks like when you open a sensor, okay? If you take a look there, you have your Iota wallet balance. Again, these are not actually Iotas because this is a proof of concept. And this is the live feed of the sensors that you're getting from your XDK110. I don't know if it does update without a refresh. Okay. We are using a 30 seconds interval, right? Okay. Wow. Okay. So basically, anyone considering this data of importance or value can buy it. This is just a proof of concept, but I don't know if it was clear, but all the code you need, and actually, can you please go to the GitHub a bit and open the DMP package, because we have a README with the instructions. So the idea is that you do not need to be a developer to get this done, okay? If you have an XDK and you follow the guide, for instance, no, but go to the DMP, because I think I did a guide for the DMP. Yeah, there. Here you have all the data to do a step-by-step process and get one of these guys working on the data marketplace, okay, and selling the data. So I think that's it. Yeah, we gotta do it short because we don't have much time. If there are questions.
So you are using the API from data marketplace, because it's nothing slowed about that actually.
The code we are running. This is the real marketplace, data.iota.org, yes. We are just publishing data through MAM, using a specific node to do the proof of work. So I wouldn't say, Ale, there is an API here related. I mean, we are not interacting with an API. We are just publishing data through MAM to the Tangle to make it available in the data marketplace, and we are not using public. Public mode here on MAM, or no, because you want to sell this, so it can't be public. But it is not an API. I mean, what you're doing is you're publishing data. IoT is going to be all about sending data and sending value, maybe to pay for the data. So this is what we are doing now. Maybe somewhere someone considers that the data of that the XDK 110 is of value, and they want to buy it. So they can buy, I don't know, the feed for 10 Mioras, I don't know. Questions?
Yeah, could you show how do you get from the home side of the marketplace to that specific?
We can't. The reason why we can't is because this is a proof of concept, and they are working hard now to release a version that anyone can use. So we can access this because we are participants on the data marketplace. XDK2MAM is participating, but the process, it's, I mean, you gotta get in on this participants pool, and then they will guide you through the process of, they will onboard you in the data marketplace. Yes.
Can I use this SDK on my Raspberry Pi as a NPM module, or no?
Sorry, the last part I didn't get it.
Sorry, my English is...
No.
Can I use this SDK?
The SDK on the Raspberry Pi as
on my Raspberry Pi as a NPM module? It is available.
Do you know the answer to this?
Yeah.
Okay. I think I thought the answer would be yes, but I'm not sure.